All right, well, I guess I'll do the intro here and we can get into it.
Yeah. If you're comfortable doing that again,
That's fine.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Welcome. Welcome.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about this podcast. Let's talk about that.
Welcome everyone back to the Let's Talk About That podcast. Thanks for tuning in for episode 2 here. Hopefully you enjoyed our rambling hour and a half long first episode. I think we're gonna try and keep it a little more focused this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we're going to talk about the more the food and maybe some music if we get the time, right?
Yeah.
Last time we talked about the differences between school lunches and breakfast and stuff. We were, and then I said something about the reason why Norwegian like bread so much, eat bread so much for lunch and breakfast. And since then, I realized I might have taught you the wrong thing, because I found out recently that in 1918 there was a school doctor who did some research on 10,000 Norwegian school children in Oslo, and he thought they needed more nutrition than just the hot porridge. Is that the word in English? Porridge.
Yeah, porridge would be.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah,
that is a word.
Yeah, it's like some grains boiled with water or milk or something like that. It's not very nutritious, but it's hot, and yeah, it was served in the schools for lunch. And from 1929, he introduced the so-called Oslo breakfast by the schools in the capital, and the breakfast there, it contained of milk. It was whole grain bread with margarine and cheese. It was also maybe they also had what's that called in English? We call it tran. It's like fish oil, like you take the healthy tablespoon of fish oil with vitamins and stuff. And he understood quite quickly that it had a lot of it meant a lot to switch from that porridge to the healthy breakfast, because it was more nutritious and they were more full after eating. And it all the way into the 1963, that breakfast was served to all the school children in the capital, and it just stuck, I guess, from there on. It's a big part of the Norwegian food, what's called food identity, they call it, with having bread and to lunch and evenings and stuff. So it was not because we were out in the woods and it was easy to bring. It was because the school children needed something more nutritious.
Huh. All the school children.
Yeah, it was in the capital, in Oslo. But of course it spread quite fast when they saw the evidence of this research. What do you think about the research? Would you like it to be like that in the US, in the schools?
I mean, yeah, I think, especially in the last decade or two, there's actually been a lot of effort put into making sure that our school lunches are, healthy and nutritious, which, I mean, of course, like any sort of government program, or public program has mixed results, I think. But I mean, I do know, it sounds like compared to the lunches you've described, you guys having there, I mean, we have some fairly complicated ones, I guess. I mean, sometimes it's like pizza and stuff like that, but I think they usually did a pretty good job of trying to get, some of every food group into our lunches here.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since I've eaten school lunch.
Yeah, it's important to have the right vitamins and for the children to have enough food to last the whole day. I mean, learning is quite hard job actually. It's a lot of work to contain all the information.
Well, yeah, and also they just have, the research has shown that kids learn better, when they're on a full stomach.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I've what should we call it? I've now explained my wrongdoings from the last episode.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Of course, as listeners may know, we are in drastically different time zones here, so it's almost dinner time there, but I'm just waking up for the day, so I've got that, got to get the voice warm. I don't know what Martin's excuse is.
I would just colds and stuff. I think the whole family have been cold on and off for 3, maybe 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
So there's still some sliminess in the throat area and chest area, but we're doing all right. So it's good.
That's good. That's a good excuse, I guess.
I hope so, because that's the excuse I have. We also mentioned last time that we that was the first time we ever talked to each other, spoken, and that we get to know each other through food.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we it's obviously a topic that's near and dear to both of us, because I just recently started posting some pictures of my cooking on Reddit, and then Martin had started his the dinner suggestions subreddit, and must have seen my pictures and invited me to join. And
yeah, you were quite you posted some decent pics, something that didn't look like a restaurant quality, like it was some the comfy home feeling to your pictures, and that was exactly what I wanted to have in the subreddit, because I was so tired of coming up with dinners.
Yeah, you wanted the sort of like the high quality amateur style.
Yeah, like this is not a restaurant, this is what I cook, and this is what it looks like. It tastes delicious, and take it or leave it kind of thing. Yeah.
There are certainly some people on the sub that I think their dishes maybe or at least maybe just their photo setup makes it appear that their dishes maybe trend a little more onto the restaurant side.
Absolutely. Some I guess are quite popular on YouTube too. They're posting recipe videos on the subreddit, and someone are posting quite decent pictures. I guess they're having some good cameras and lighting and stuff.
Yep.
You mentioned last time that your love for cooking really sparkled when the pandemic set in, like a couple of years ago.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I never mentioned that. When I first started really getting into cooking, I always liked making food, but it was I guess in 2015, 16, I guess, watching MasterChef Australia. and
Nice.
I actually learned, or I got the idea of how to use spices and stuff, and started experimenting a little bit, and yeah, it was fun, and I just kept on going. So yeah, that's where it's really started for me. I like being in the kitchen and making food at most times. I say that because when I come home from work, it's not always it's not always the dinners I want to make.
Yeah, I know that feeling. As much as I like cooking, my wife will attest to the fact that some nights I'm like, oh, I just don't want to cook tonight. Let's just get takeout.
Yeah, I guess that's quite easier for you though, since you're living in a rather big city and have takeout spots quite close by, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's giving too much away to say that I'm in one of the suburbs of Minneapolis. You know, I'm one of the outer ring suburbs, so I'm not super close to Minneapolis, but still close enough that we've got no shortage of options around us.
Yeah.
But that isn't the case for you. Yeah.
No, that's quite right. To get to we have one like this fast food place. It's a 5-minute drive. I'm no fan of that place anymore. I used to be, but things change. But a decent place, it's like a 10-minute drive. Yeah, that's more like burgers, kebabs, pizzas, and stuff like that. If you're going to have the Chinese, you have to go down to the centrum, and there you have Chinese, and you have some sushi and stuff you can take out. Not that much really. We have a good amount of restaurants though, because we're a summer town with like 600% increase of population in the summers. So the restaurants are quite active in the summers.
Are they still open during the winter?
I think they are. Yeah, at least towards the Christmas era, because it's like the all the companies and firms and stuff are going out for Christmas parties and stuff there. I think, and of course there are tourists all year round, but not that much in the gray seasons.
Yeah. You know, at least you're probably not going to get a lot of folks from, you know, Minnesota who are seeking to escape the cold, gray Minnesota winters by going to the cold, gray Norwegian winters.
Yeah, by the coast there, it's quite chilly down by the sea. It's you guys have cold in Minnesota, but if you have X temperature and we have the same temperature here, it feels so different because of the air from the sea.
Yeah, it's there's a certain, if you get to that sort of moistness.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still quite dry in the air because it's winter. But the air, it feels, I don't know, it's a different kind of cold. It's quite hard to explain. But once again, we're drifting off our theme of the food.
Yes. So
yeah.
I mean, clearly being a nation with a lot of coastline, you guys, I'm sure, eat a lot of fish. Well, I mean, I know you eat a lot of fish. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, sure. We absolutely do. There is fish everywhere. I mean, you can get fish in every restaurant in some form, expensive and cheap, of course.
Sure.
But you live kind of in the center, in the middle of the states, if you look at the map.
Yep.
So freshwater, is that freshwater fish? Is that common to come by?
Some. I mean, I would say I mean, for the most part, when you see fish in restaurants, you're still going to be talking about salmon, tilapia. You know, there's like fried cod usually.
Yeah.
So, you know, we still do a lot of that. But of course, at least in Minnesota, and I can't speak for all the states, but I know in Minnesota, at least we do a lot of walleye, which is a freshwater fish.
Oh yeah. Okay. I have to.
You have that?
I have to
you
look
have
up the English names because, like we
Yeah.
say salmon, it's called laks. Cod is torsk, and it's quite different names. But
Yes.
but I haven't had that many freshwater fish actually. It's still a saltwater fish that's dominant here.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising to me, you know, now that you mention it, that I don't see more of the freshwater fish here. But yeah, I mean, in the supermarkets, it's really still mostly ocean fish.
Yeah, it's that. I don't know. Maybe it's more easier to come by because the freshwater is kind of limited with the space, and
Yeah.
there is only so much fish you can manage to produce. That's kind of the wrong word, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Producing fish.
Yeah, that's true. There's been specifically with the walleye population in Minnesota, I know there's been you know, we have limits on how much walleye you can catch. I think in a given season. And I'm not a fisher, so you know, don't at me if I'm don't at me
Yeah.
anyone if I'm getting it wrong. But I think yeah, there's been a lot of I want to say there's been some stuff over the last several years about, you know, the walleye season being very, very short or very, very limited
Yeah.
in a way that, I mean, there's also, I mean, of course, some concerns with you know, sustainability of ocean fish, but yeah, you're dealing with a much larger body of water.
Yeah, and it's easier to have the compounds for the saltwater fish than the limited you have in a lake or in a hangar or wherever they're making that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
of course, go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead.
No, the funny thing is, you know, a lot of the times when we get salmon, it's fresh Norwegian salmon. So you and I are eating the same stuff half a world away.
That's awesome. But is it fresh or is it frozen?
A lot of the times some of the times you can get it fresh. I mean, it says it'll say on the package. It'll at least say on the package fresh Atlantic salmon or fresh Norwegian salmon. Which,
yeah, right.
Yeah. So
I mean,
amazingly, yes.
That's then it comes quite fast over. I mean, there's many hours of plane or by sea to get over, but yeah, that's interesting. We're eating the same, maybe even the fish from the same compound.
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. We're talking about the fish. What's your favorite meal? Not necessarily fish, but if
Sure.
you were asked to name your favorite meal of anything,
Of things I cook, I assume.
no, just by anything, there is a master chef guy come to you and ask, "I'll make you anything you want." What would you say?
Ooh, that is a difficult question indeed. Of course, I love.
Like, what would you like to try, and what is your favorite meal?
Sure. I mean, probably. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
There's a dish I really enjoy called steak Diane, which if I had a really good steak Diane, that might be maybe one of my favorites that I'm familiar with. Otherwise, you know, I'd love to try different ethnic food I haven't had before. You know, I love you know, all the different flavors from around the world. So, you know, maybe something I haven't had before. I don't know, Moroccan food or
Yeah,
Algerian.
some spicy with some experimental tastes or yeah.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah. Just don't go to Norway. We don't know how to cook. Everything we've made comes from we like made some gray gooey stuff, and then we found out, hey, pizza is a thing.
You're very utilitarian.
I mean, yeah. When I was a child and before that, we have this what is called. We didn't have the salads. We didn't know what iceberg salad was, kind of. What it's called? It's called the Chinese cabbage was used as a salad. But it's cabbage. It's not salad. We figured out quite fast. Someone fooled us. Yeah, we used cabbage as salad for many years, and you still get the Chinese cabbage if you order, for example, kebab in pita or something like that in fast food places.
Mm-hmm.
Just an example of that we don't know food. So some gray gooey stuff and we're making some stews, and it doesn't look good at all. But we've learned, so it's we've added some spices and some new vegetables and stuff. So now it's quite decent, I guess. But it's nothing like it was before.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't really stake any claim on America or American food being anything special, because I mean everyone, more or less likes things like burgers and fries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although I suppose technically the hamburger is named after Hamburg, Germany, so maybe it's German. But I mean, we don't have anything of our own here. Is really the point. We just amalgamate all the different cultures that come here.
Yeah, sure. But you've made some. There is some foods that are native to the USA too, right? I mean, there has to be something that was made in the US that's kind of called the native from your guys.
It's I mean, I'm sure there must be, right? I mean, the United States is not we have innovators here. I'm sure there's something, but it's like it's hard, there's a lot of the times what people will consider sort of American food or American cuisine, is stuff like burgers and chicken sandwiches and all that sort of, basically like what you can get at McDonald's here is all sort of like the quintessential American food, I think.
Yeah, and everything else is just stolen would be the wrong word, but it's from other cultures and countries and just made in an American way, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we have like our Americanized Chinese food, which no actual Chinese person would ever accuse of actually being Chinese food.
Yeah, I mean with the fortune cookies, that's an American thing. I've never seen a fortune cookie in my life. It comes from USA, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think that's right. Although I thought whatever. I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole trying to remember this thing.
Yeah.
Well, so to put your own question back to you, what about you and your meals? What would be your favorite / what would you be most interested in trying?
Most interested in trying that I haven't tried before. Oh, that's a hard one. I love fish.
Right?
Whenever I come to a restaurant, I'm quite interested in the fish plates. It's either that or some steak or maybe something I haven't had before, like a rabbit or something like that. but I also love lamb. But nothing beats a good steak or a nice fish grill plate. But something I haven't tried that I'd like to try.
Yeah.
I guess you'll have to throw it at me. I'm not that bewildered in food like that. I see pictures of food and I think I'll try that, but I rarely know the names and what it's made of and stuff. I kind of eat with my eyes first. Most
Sure.
people do, but then again, I have tried smalahove, which is a kind of traditional dish in the western part of Norway, where you're served potatoes, and it's basically half a sheep head on your plate. Actually,
That's
half a
right.
sheep
That's
head.
right.
Yeah, it looks so macabre and disgusting, but if you like lamb, you just have to try it. The meat is so tender and so tasty. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've had lamb very few times in my life, actually.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I've had it before, at least once, but it's not super common. I mean, I don't know. I kind of think of like fancy restaurants when I think of lamb.
Oh wow. I can have lamb chops on the barbecue on the grill in the summer.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
lamb
have
chops.
it in the autumns, in the fall, if I may. There's lamb season. We have lamb and cabbage stew. It's basically just that. It's cabbage and lamb meat and some black pepper, and you let it boil. Boil in for a little while, and you serve it with potatoes and some vegetables. It's
Sure.
yeah.
It-
That's where it comes, the gray, boring food. I mean, it's water, cabbage, and some gray meat in a pot.
Yeah.
It's not exciting at all.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything I'd order.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah,
You see the picture and what? I'm not going to eat that.
I remember seeing the pictures you posted of the Smalahove, back when you had that last year, and I don't know if I could do that, but maybe.
Yeah. It's kind of it's you have to just forget that it's ahead, I guess, if you're intimidated by that. I have a diploma that I've ate it. The guy, he is from the western side of Norway. He said that you don't have to eat the eye. There's no nutrition in the eye, but it's someone eats it because it's a delicacy. Just like some eat cod eye. It's
Sure.
yeah. I have no idea why. It's for special people, I guess.
So you ate the eye?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. I took it out and had it on the side.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's my limit, I guess.
Maybe if I had a couple beers in me, I'd consider it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that's what I'm taking on sober.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're going to make some food at home, like you're going to make today, I'm going to make something a bit fancy, but not too fancy, something tasty. You get the picture, something for a nice Saturday night with the family.
Yeah.
What are you cooking? I mean, for the core family, like you and the wife and kids.
Yeah.
What are you making?
Sure. Well, let's see. I guess I have a couple of go-tos. There is a dish I really enjoy making. Well, it's called chicken scampi. Although it almost kind of, the way I make it, it's kind of almost mixed with like a piccata, because it's got a little bit, got more of kind of a lemon thing going with it, but it's kind of just like a creamy, lemony chicken and pasta with onions and peppers.
Oh, that sounds lovely. It's light food. You don't get that heavy full when you eat it, right?
Well, I mean, it is a pasta dish, and I think like a full stick of butter goes into it. So
Oh, you get quite full
Yeah.
then.
yeah, so I mean, it doesn't take like cream, like a lot, like heavy cream, like a lot of dishes might.
Mhm.
But it makes up for it in all the butter.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
either that, or I mean, my I would say that having a salmon dinner here is considered, maybe a step up in terms of fanciness. So
Yeah.
actually, a nice salmon dinner of some sort would also be high on the list of a nice thing to cook for the family.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Fancy dinner with salmon. I can't remember if I've ever had that as a fancy dinner when I'm at someone's place, actually. Maybe because it's quite normal here to have
Yeah.
salmon. Then again, we have if you're having a couple of guests and you're having a table with lots of different food. I don't know what you call it. What would you call that?
A buffet or a
Yeah. A
you
buffet.
might call it a
A cold
guess
buffet,
probably.
yeah, kind of, with
Okay.
the breads and scrambled eggs and stuff like that. There always some kind of course, cured meat and smoked
Yeah.
salmon or trout. There is like always on there, and shrimps, of course. There is
Yeah.
consumption of shrimps in the summer in Norway is quite astonishing. We get the fresh
Yeah, I bet
shrimps all year round, of course.
Oh, I'm jealous of that. Shrimp has long been one of my favorite foods.
Oh yeah, like peeling them and just eating them like that, or having them on bread, or how do you
Oh,
consume shrimps?
anyway, I mean, uh,
Just
I've
stuff it
done
in the
the
mouth.
peel and eat shrimp. Go ahead.
Just stuff it
What
in the
was that?
mouth and
Yeah.
chew, swallow.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
just eating them.
Yeah.
Don't care how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shrimp tacos or shrimp taco. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the American movie Forrest Gump,
Of course I
but
have.
you think of
Yeah.
Bubba listing off all the ways you can have shrimp. It's like, yep, I'll take any of those ways.
Yeah, right. It's quite popular here to go to the fish shop and buy like a kilo or something, a half a kilo of shrimp, newly boiled, and just take the boat, drive out in the fjord, and sit on a rock on a little island and eat some shrimps and maybe some sparkly wine and stuff. That's really common, actually. I'm no fan of shrimps myself. It takes too long to peel them for me.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit of work.
Yeah, but I mean, if you love it, yeah. That's the food yeah, that's your go-to food for a Saturday night or whatever, the chicken, pasta, butter dish.
Yes, the chicken scampi.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you
Um,
do for your family?
Actually, I usually ask what they want because yeah, no, if I was to choose, I would probably have some marinated chicken breasts and pasta, I think. Mustard marinated, maybe. That's quite nice.
Yes.
Fresh pasta. Then again, I love some nicely roasted vegetables, root vegetables, and pork chops with some gratinated potatoes. Would you call it gratinated potatoes? Oven baked potatoes with creamed potatoes. What would you call it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid term for it. I don't Yeah, I think that's as good a term as any.
Yeah, cream au gratin, I think you would call it. We call it just straightforward cream gratinated potatoes. quite simple like that. I really love that. Some good roasted root vegetables like beets, several different kind of beets and carrots and stuff. It's really nice in the oven with some good oils and some just a simple salt and pepper.
Yeah, you don't need to get too fancy with the seasonings when you got good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like the natural flavors on the vegetables and also the meat. Actually, I'm not too much of a fan to have either I marinate them or I have just salt and pepper on the meat.
Sure.
Even if it's pork chops or if it's a good steak, salt and pepper and I have a good sauce on the side too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if it's good steak, salt and pepper is all you need, really.
Absolutely, and sometimes I have I have some chili or a garlic clove or two in the pan, just to add to the buttery or the oil or whatever you're cooking it in. Frying it would be the right term, I guess.
Yeah, cooking it on the stovetop.
Yeah.
It all sounds lovely to me.
Yeah, I mean it's food, isn't it?
Yeah,
we love food.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Some people are more picky than others. I consider myself quite picky, actually. I figured that out later, that I'm actually quite picky on food.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, quite weird. I don't eat, I'm not a fan of eating mustard. I don't have the dressings and mayonnaise and stuff like that. I don't eat that. Not sour cream either. So I guess I'm considered quite weird. But then again, I use sour cream in the food and mustard in the food. It's
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't eat it like people have tacos with sour cream on the side. I could never do that.
You're missing out. I mean, I used to be a very picky eater actually growing up. I mean, you couldn't get me to eat vegetables. You know, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be very much, and it would be under a lot of duress.
Yeah, it would be forcing.
I remember though I still remember like my introduction to realizing that I actually liked things like even like onions and peppers. I wouldn't do time, but I remember my school had taken a trip to Italy one summer where the band had, and I'm a band member. And we were on the way back on the plane, and they gave us pizza with peppers and onions on it, and I'm like, oh my god, why is this pizza so good? And I realized it's these peppers and onions.
Yeah, like peppers. I really like peppers and onions, and it's natural for kids not to like, especially onions. Onions have this quite special taste, and they smell kind of special, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you fry onions in the pan with butter or some oil, it gets really sweet, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you caramelize the onions a bit. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean, I often have mushrooms and onions as a kind of a side dish. If we're having pork chops, for example, we're having that on the side. It's yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, no, I'm slowly converting my wife to like mushrooms.
Yeah, the consistency of mushroom could be tough, I guess.
Yeah, we've come to the conclusion that she likes the flavor, but yeah, it's a texture thing for her.
Yeah.
But if you cut it up small enough so she doesn't notice, then she really likes things with mushrooms in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you eat with all your senses. You eat with your eyes and the touch and the taste, of course. So if one of those crash too much, you don't like it, I think. Just like with the small hove, if it looks too disgusting to you, you wouldn't eat it, you wouldn't like it. But then again, if you like lamb this and this much, you'd eat it anyway.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. Well, and I think pizza was also how I learned to like mushrooms.
Yeah.
I think pizza is the ultimate technique for like introducing new vegetables to people.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I support that. I support that. But what's your view on pineapple on pizza? The controversial debate.
Yes, I regret to say that my wife has corrupted me. I was never a pineapple on pizza person, but my wife, one of her favorite kinds of pizza is what they call, Hawaiian pizza here, which is
with ham and
ham and pineapple.
Yeah, that's delicious. I love pineapple.
I've come around to it, and she loves pineapple and various things like that. Also in like stir fries and sometimes
me too.
on tacos.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're making a salad, I'm having a pineapple in. I like pineapple. I could have pineapple in anything. I made this Asian-inspired soup the other day, and I just put in some pineapples. It sounds weird. It sounds weird, but I was gonna eat it. So, and it tastes delicious for me.
Yeah,
it's quite important.
That's important.
It's if I like it, yeah, I eat it. If you don't like it, it's more to me. Yeah. Time flies by when having fun, right, Tony?
Yes, it sure does.
We've been talking for just past 40 minutes right now. I want to use some of the time we have left to give a shout out to some new friends we've got through Reddit and YouTube. These guys are also having a podcast. It's called Keep It a Buck. We'll put a link in the description of our video, and you make sure to check them out. They're quite interesting. Quite interesting what they're talking about over there.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned Reddit. We have our Reddit subreddit, right, Tony?
That's right. We have let's talk about that that's EHH. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. It's also linked in the description on the YouTube video we're posting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, we have an email address. I put that in there too. We'd love you to send us some suggestions on themes, topics, or whatever you want us to discuss or talk about. Any questions, we'll answer almost anything, I guess.
Within reason.
Within reason, of course. We're not stupid. I think.
What's your credit card number?
Yeah, give me a second. I give you. If you give me yours, I give you mine. Yeah, 45 minutes of talking about food. Our plans was maybe also catch some music talk, but I guess we do that the next time.
Yeah, and with the rate we're going, we'll spend 45 minutes and realize we've barely scratched the surface. And
yeah, this could be like a theme. Like for 10 episodes we talk about food. For 10 episodes we talk about this and that. Yeah.
Well, we're still figuring it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more we hear from you guys out there in listener land, the more we'll know how to steer things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if we're looking at the views and the comments out there, of course we want you to spread the word. Maybe others will be interested in hearing what we have to say. Yeah. You have to excuse my English. Sometimes I speak English in a Norwegian way, and it does not work.
Hey, no, you're great. Even if I wanted to criticize you, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on to do it. I can't speak any language other than English nearly as well as you speak English. So
That's well, I take that to heart, Tony. I take that to
yes,
heart.
yeah,
Because the way we build up our sentences is quite different from in English. So when I try to say something, I have to, even though it comes quite natural to me now, I have to think a bit on some special words and how to build up my sentences. But I'm hoping this podcast will help me getting better with my vocabulary and pronunciations and stuff.
sure. Of course, now I want to get into language chat, but
Yeah.
I guess we have to save that for another episode.
Yeah, we have to make a list like languages, music, and we're definitely doing more food talk later on.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for you listeners to decide. If you
Yeah.
have any suggestions to what we'll talk about, we'll probably do that first, just to please you guys.
Yes.
Yes. Are we tuning it out now?
Are we tuning it out?
Tuning it out. Yeah, 50 minutes. We're using a long time to talk about using long time.
Well, sorry, that's at the risk of going longer, in the United States, there's the idea of the Minnesotan goodbye, which goes on for an hour. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the same thing is there.
We're like ants. We're not saying anything unless it's worth saying, right? Worth using a long time to say. I think that's what it says.
All right. Well, joking aside, thanks again for tuning in. And we will see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we'll try to make this recording and publishing regularly.
Yep. Although with the holidays coming up, who knows? But
yeah, maybe we do even more, or maybe do less. It all depends on the situation we're coming up in.
Yes. All right. We're really gonna go this time. I promise.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next time.
Yeah, will we be back though?
Yes.
Yes. Goodbye.